Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope that everybody is having a great week so far. I hope that you're healthy, your studies are going well, and life is treating you well. Welcome Raja. Hi Giselle Lyrics. Faiz, thank you for the compliment. Emelinda, Sonia, Hikmatillo, nice to see many students in the class. Everybody's ready to learn, and that's what we're going to do today, starting this week with IELTS Speaking Part 1. Talking about sleep, a very important part of life and an important part of getting a good score on exams, including the IELTS exam. You definitely want to get some good sleep before your IELTS, and this speaking section part 1 is about sleep. Speaking section part 1 is a general topic that basically everybody can talk about, and certainly sleep is something that we all do, so it would be no surprise to get this kind of a topic for part 1 questions. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com on both of those websites. We've got tons of information for you to help you with IELTS, and those websites are basically like our textbooks for these live classes. What that means is that we're using these websites in the live classes consistently. We're going to use these websites today. We're going to use this one here, aehelp.com, for live speaking practice. I will be contacting and calling our viewers to practice speaking with me as I give you instructions and strategies on how to get those nice high band scores. So to join our premium IELTS package, just click on this big red button that's just above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, so it's a great idea to use these materials. We are an official British Council IELTS Test Registration Center. We are certified British Council agents, IDP affiliates, so you are in great hands with us. And you can use this code AIM49. That code will get you a 20% discount from the cost of the premium package. Again, it doesn't cost a lot. In some countries, it's even cheaper than others. So you are in great hands with us. All right, the general IELTS, it looks like this at gieltshelp.com. It's the green background. Again, all you need to do to join our premium package is just to click that big red button there, and you are good to go. And of course, we have apps that complement our websites. You can go to your app store and get our apps, Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help. And you can also follow us on Instagram to get the latest strategies, news updates from IELTS, as well as our class schedule, so you know when these live classes are going. And of course, you can subscribe to this channel to get that information as well. Welcome Baljit. Hi Umra. Good to see some of our members joining in now as well. That's excellent. If you have questions, students, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. We answer emails quite quickly. So if you have questions about IELTS, our websites, what you need to do to pass your exam, send us an email and we will help you out. We will have class tomorrow and on Saturday also, and then of course we have some more light haul classes as well this week. We had a light haul class yesterday that was fantastic. A lot of people joined that class and it went really well. For speaking, I'll put these light haul links into the chat so you can click and join these when you get the chance. All right, there's one. And one at the end of the month, the last day of the month on Sunday as well. So check those out, register for those classes. We have an awesome speaking video that you can check out, which we put up on our YouTube channel not so long ago, just recently. It's a new release. Check that out as well. All that info is in the chat. Let's get into some IELTS speaking part 1. So speaking part 1, it's only about 5-6 minutes of your life in the real exam. Even though it might sometimes seem like an eternity, speaking exams can be quite stressful. So you need to prepare, you need to be confident, you need to be calm on the day of your exam. You need to make sure that you are using English only before the exam so that you get your brain kind of warmed up for that speaking interview. And then you will be met by an examiner after you register. So the instructions will tell you that you have to go to your exam at least 20 minutes before so that you register. For the registration, they will ask you to show your passport. They will take a picture of you. You have to leave all of your digital devices behind. It's only your pencil that is allowed into the speaking interview. And a bottle of water. Okay, it's a good idea to bring a bottle of water. I don't really usually talk about this much, but it is a good idea. Bring water with you to the speaking exam. They don't allow labels or any writing on the bottle of water. It has to be just a bottle of water. But you'd want that because having some water with you can help you to not only take off some stress when you take a sip of water, but when people get stressed out, often their mouths go really dry and it becomes hard to speak. So bring water with you to the speaking exam, take off any labels, and have a sip if you feel that your mouth is getting dry. This can help you to relieve some stress and also to speak a little bit more fluently. And yes, you need to make eye contact with the examiner. We used to get this question all the time, should I be making eye contact? Yeah, eye contact is important for good communication, but you don't need to stare at the examiner, so you don't need to be like this the whole time, but you should look at them for most of the interview when you're speaking with them, okay? Laura says, drink water and stay hydrated. Yeah, so exactly, Laura. I mean, sometimes, candidates say, oh, I don't need water. I'll be okay. Have it. If you don't need it, whatever. If you do need it, it's there. Now, what do you do with your hands? So I thought, this week, right now, as we're starting speaking, I will tell you a little bit about the kind of attitude you should take with you. So put your hands on the table. Try not to fidget. Okay. Anybody know what the word fidget means? Okay. Oh, Jess, I hope you have the best of luck on your speaking tomorrow. Anybody know this word fidget? Vocabulary is important for speaking part 1. You should always be expanding your vocabulary. Vocabulary is important for communication. Everybody knows this. So anytime you hear a new word, you should try to use it. Anybody know what fidget is? I think that word kind of got popular these days because of all those fidget devices that got popular on the market, those fidget spinners. You see people have them. I think they got kind of popular all over the world where people are spinning a little object in their hand, and those are called fidget spinners, I think. Yeah, Amra says it's moving your hand because you're nervous. Yeah, it's moving your body. So usually it means repetitive movement of the body because of being nervous. The legs or hands or hips, those are usually the common ones. So if you keep like moving around and your hands are kind of moving around. Try not to do that. Okay, so try to just focus, take a deep breath, stay calm. All right, use body language. So it's okay. It's actually a good idea. It can be a good idea to use body language because it's expressive and helps verbal communication. Okay, so you see me do that in this class. When I'm talking to you, I use my hands to say hi band score or think about it, right? So using these kinds of gestures and body language, it's a good idea because it helps you to enunciate language. It sometimes helps you to slow down your language a little bit. So it's a big part of our communication. It's integrated, okay? Sometimes people find this strange advice somewhere online that my teacher told me I shouldn't use body language. I have no idea why somebody would say that. That's just strange. And it's one of the advantages of the face-to-face speaking interview versus the computer-based is that you can use your hands. Now, don't get crazy, but use your hands, right? Be you, all right? All right, Baljit says, I use much of my hands during my speaking. That's good. If you look at presenters, people who are giving a presentation for an audience, they're all a lot about body language, right? Comedians, those tech gurus that are talking about the latest and greatest technology, they're just moving around that stage using their hands, right? So you can do that, all right? Now, we're going to get into speaking here quite quickly. I'd like to do a lot of practice today with the students on this topic. So just a couple of important strategies to start you off here. Strategy 1, be fluent from the very start of the interview. Speak in complete sentences. Professionally. Okay, so use good language. Strategy 2 to do this, right, is always think about answer, explain, example. I drive this point home every single time. So always focus on giving an answer plus an explanation plus an example. That's what you should be practicing in the days, weeks, months leading up to your IELTS exam. Okay, be expressive and practice answers, explanations, and examples. Okay, so you get to your IELTS speaking interview and the examiner greets you. The examiner says, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. The exam is being conducted in Victoria, Canada. The time right now is 7 a.m. I'm recording this for clerical purposes. This is candidate number 11987572 and examiner number 6964. Now we shall begin. May I see your identification? Now, while I'm giving you these instructions, hopefully you were thinking of some strategies, like using numbers in your explanations and examples to help clear communication. Okay, and then you give a nice fluent sentence for this one. Okay, so focus everybody and let's get going on speaking. Sakriti, I see that you're worried about your your reading score. If you're worried about some other section of the IELTS right now, don't worry about it. Think about that later. You can always send me an email, right? Beauty Princess is asking, which one do I think is better, face-to-face or video call? I think face-to-face is the best because it's the closest to real speaking. But I think video calls are quite good these days as well. So there's not too much difference. Each has their own advantages. Okay. All right. So we've got some answers coming up for this first question. Okay. Angel K says, let's see what Angel says here. Angel says, yes, gladly. Here is my ID that I used for registration. Please have a look. Yeah, Angel, that's good. It's not too complicated, but it's definitely more than a yes or a sure. So yes, gladly, here is my ID that I used for registration. Please have a look. Students, this is speaking, so make sure that you speak and repeat. So hopefully you are in a good place where you can focus on this lesson. Of course, please do not attend if you are driving a car or doing another activity that needs your attention. Hopefully you are focused, you're here with me, and you are speaking and repeating. Okay, so speak and repeat throughout this class. Don't just listen to me. If you're only listening, then it's a listening class and not a speaking class. So it's very important that you copy what I say. So again, for this first question, may I see your identification? Yes, gladly. Here's my ID that I used for registration. Please have a look. Now, if your ID is your passport, then you should say passport. Yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I used for registration. Please have a look. If your ID is your driver's license, in some countries you can use that, like in Canada, and you can say, yes, gladly, here is my driver's license, which I used for registration. Please have a look. Be specific, students. Always look for specific nouns, okay? That's my next strategy that I'm going to list here is focus on using the most accurate noun, okay? In your answers. Okay, so if it's a passport, say passport. If it's a driver's license, say driver's license. If it's your national ID card, say national ID card. If you used a residency visa card, your permanent PR card, say this is my residency card that I used, okay? So make sure that you are using specific nouns. That will help you with coherence and with lexical resource as well. Here we go. So Jackie Johnson says, yes, happily, here's my passport that I have used to register for the IELTS exam a couple of weeks ago. Please take a look at my credentials. Okay, that works really well also. Nice, fluent, long sentence. All right, and then the next question the IELTS examiner will ask you, it's always these first two questions, always are the same because they are checking your credentials and they're making sure that you are you. So the next question they will ask you is, what is your full name? And here they want you to give your whole name. And you need to be clear on what's your given name, what is your family name, make sure it's the same as in your passport, and then tell them what you want to be called. If you don't tell them what you want to be called, the examiner will ask you, what should I call you? Okay, they're trying to make you feel comfortable. So make yourself feel comfortable. Tell them your name, tell them what you want to be called. So Gurleen Basanti says, my full name is Gurleen Kaur. Yeah, that's a good start. Tell them, Gurleen, what you want to be called. Okay. So Gurleen says, my full name is Gurleen Kaur. Please call me by my given name, Gurleen. Okay, that would be your full answer. You really want the examiner to feel that you prepared for the IELTS exam and that you are aware that you're speaking to a stranger who doesn't know you and that you will use your best English, okay? So that's very, very important. And I've oftentimes told students to think about the examiner as your grandfather, grandmother. You speak loudly, clearly, full sentences, you're calm, you're confident, and you remember that they don't know what you know. They're a different generation. They don't know about Instagram. They don't know about social media. So you have to be very clear, okay? So the strategy for here is show the examiner from the beginning that you prepared. You are confident. You are speaking to a stranger that does not know you. Okay, it's very important, all right, to think about it that way. Okay, so the examiner has asked you to show your identification. They asked you what is your full name, and now they're asking you where do you live, okay, because that's how the IELTS speaking section goes for part one. Is they ask you a couple of questions on a general topic. In fact, they tell you that. They say, now I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live? Now here is your chance to show right away to the examiner that you know they're a stranger, they don't know you, you have to be specific, right? So you can say, for example, I live in a bachelor pad in downtown Vancouver, about a 20-minute bus ride from my university. Okay, so here is my clear answer, okay, and it's original. All right, so I live in a bachelor pad in downtown Vancouver, about a 20-minute bus ride from my university. Awesome. So now the examiner has discovered information about you. They know that you live by yourself in a small bachelor suite, and that you are not too far from your university. You're probably a student, so you're giving them clear information, and you live in the city of Vancouver. Okay, so you want to be specific. Specific answers get you high band scores. All right. Welcome, Carolina. I see that our moderator has joined in as well. Okay, Amra says, another answer here. Amra says, well, I reside in a 3-bedroom apartment on the 10th floor of a 14-story building with my lovely mom and a 6-year-old brother in Sumgait, which is located about 20 kilometers from the capital city of Baku. Okay, very good. Nice, Amra, good. So it's specific, it's clear, you're using numbers. So using this kind of language to answer this question is a really good idea because it reminds you to use numbers throughout your speaking. And it should remind you of that, okay? So Amra says it's a 3-bedroom apartment. It's the 10th floor of a 14-story building. Amra has a 6-year-old brother. So that gives us a lot of clarity right away with that one answer. Okay, and that's what we want to practice. So the next question, very common question, everyone, is do you work or study? Okay. So do you work or study? Let's answer this question together again. And worry not, students. Right now, we're just writing, speaking, practicing. You will have a chance very soon to actually volunteer and talk to me so I can hear you. So this is just kind of our warm-up session here. So you get a good idea of how to communicate in the IELTS speaking section for those great scores. Okay. So do you work or study? I both work and study. Currently, I have a part-time job. Thanks, Amrit, for that super chat donation. That's super cool. So I both work and study. Currently, I have a part-time job as a cashier in a nearby supermarket. And I'm also attending university to earn my bachelor's of science with a focus on chemistry. Okay, so here, notice how I'm using the correlative conjunction both and. Okay, so I both work and study. I didn't just say I work and study. I said I both work and study. Currently, I have a part-time job as a cashier in a nearby supermarket, and I'm also attending university to earn my bachelor's of science with a focus on chemistry. Okay, and then I can say I hope to be a pharmacist in the future, right? Giving a reason why I'm studying chemistry. Okay. Now, both and, so this is a little bit of technical knowledge for you that will help you to gain higher band scores. Okay, and I've given this strategy in the past, so hopefully some of our students that have been with me a longer time remember these strategies. Okay, Sukriti, it's not I like to do both. It's you need to explain what you do. Okay, so strategy 5 here is emphasize your speech. And information. So everybody knows what this word emphasize means. It's a very important word. Okay, so emphasize means to control the strength of your speaking. Okay, so to increase the importance of your information. All right, so you need to do that in order to sound convincing. Okay, emphasizing your speech means control the strength of your communication. All right, so you want to sound convincing. For high band scores, you need to sound both original and convincing for the examiner. Okay, because that's considered a very good to expert user of a language, whether it's English or another language. In order to be considered a very good to expert communicator, you need to sound like you can convince people of your ideas. So you want to emphasize that one good strategy or one good tool in grammar is using correlative conjunctions. If that word is new for you, then you should check that out later after this class. So correlative conjunctions are like both and, not only, but also, whether, or, neither, nor, either, or. All right, so those are some of your correlative conjunctions. Correlative conjunctions help us to emphasize. And then, of course, your intonation and your voice. So try to, really express yourself. This is where those, that body language or those hand gestures I spoke about earlier come in handy. Okay. All right. So we've got some good questions, good answers coming up. Now it's time for us to practice real time with real voices. Okay. So I'm going to take some volunteers for speaking. That's our next step here. Volunteers for speaking. Again, just a reminder for those of you who are signing up for the first time to our websites, use this discount code AIM49. Clever, right? AIM49 to get this 20% discount. Okay, so first step, go to aehelp.com. Okay, then create a My Student account. Click on Student Partner Speaking. Make sure you enable your microphone in your browser. Have a good stable internet connection if possible. Okay, let me show you how to do this. We'll do it together. So this is our general IELTS website here with the green background. I'm going to use the academic one, but you can use the general one too, okay? So in the academic one, you can join our premium package with this big red button, or you can just sign up free with the green button. This is a free service, so you don't have to pay to use the student partner speaking. You can use it for free, and not just with me, but of course we designed this so that you can use it with other students, so you can practice your speaking and find speaking partners. So it's really, really useful. Once you join, it's very simple to join. If you click the green button, you just need an email and a password, I think. And then you get into your My Student account. In your My Student account, you have lots of goodies. You have the computer-based IELTS practice exams, a full interactive course, exam books, lesson videos, and lots more. And then right behind my head, let me actually move this a little bit above here. So there, you can see it better now, hopefully. You've got this student partner speaking, and if you want to book a mock IELTS speaking interview, you can do that with this yellow button, speaking interview practice. So you click on the student partner speaking on this one, on this blue one for now. This is what we're using right now, this one here. Okay, and you click on student partner speaking, and then you have to click I accept and start speaking. This simply says that by clicking I accept start speaking, you confirm that you have read and agreed to the fair usage policy and liability waiver. It means that you are responsible for your communication. We ask you not to share personal information like your phone number, your address. You should be 18 years old, responsible for your own decisions, and you should be respectful and nice to everybody else who's in here. Okay, so you accept that, and then like magic, you will see a new window open up. And in that new window, you will see a list of people, and we have a good list going on already. So we have Akryl, we have Kolwinder, Omir Zan, nice to see you. Omir Zan was in our light hall class, I believe. Maybe it's the same Omir Zan. We have Anmal, Amrit, Turip, Ip. We have got lots of students in here, and now you can send me a message saying that you would like to volunteer. You do that by clicking the blue button. Okay, so the blue envelope, you click on that beside my name. So my name will be, you will see it as Master. Okay, so Master, it'll be all big letters for me, I think. Master, like that. You click the blue envelope and you send me a message like a hello, I'd like to speak, I would like to volunteer. And then I can reach out to you. I'm going to put on my ears so I can hear you better. Microphones, headsets, good idea, of course, just like when you're using WhatsApp or Skype, right? It's clear, it's better. All right. So we've got Omir Zan here. Let's reach out to Omir Zan. I think Omir Zan is ready here. So let's see what's going on with Omir Zan. Okay, Omir Zan, are you ready? Let me uncapitalize that. Are you ready? I will always send you a message back first just to make sure you're there and we have a good connection and we can reach each other. These systems can be tricky at times. Okay, let's reach out to Omir Zan.
Hello,
Hi, Omir Zan.
how are you doing?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Oh, is this the same Omir Zan who I spoke with yesterday? It is?
Yeah,
Okay, and you are in Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan?
yeah, you're right.
Okay, I remembered. Hey, not bad. Okay. All right, Omir Zan. So you were in our light hall class yesterday. How did you like that class?
That is something different from YouTube. Like, not many people sat there.
It's smaller. It's a more focused group, right? So there were,
Yeah.
I think, 50 of us total in that class. So not as many, right? Not 300. So, but it's a good start. It's a good way to improve, absolutely. And it's the other big difference, Omirzan, with Lighthall is it's real time. So YouTube has at least 5-6 seconds delay between me and everybody watching, but Lighthall has 0 second delay, so that's kind of a big difference too. I don't know if you know. Did you notice that, by the way, just out of
No.
curiosity? No. Okay, 5 seconds, maybe not that much then. All right, Omirzan, why are you taking the IELTS exam again?
Because my university, where I want, required IELTS exam.
Okay, can you tell me again, where is that university?
Uh, this university located in Nur Sultan and called Nazarbayev University.
Okay, so it's located in Nur Sultan, and they still require. So it's not a university in Canada or the U.S., but they still need an IELTS score for applications, right?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Why do you think that is? So why do you
I
think?
think
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's because in this university, many foreign people and foreign professors.
Yes and no. You have okay, sure. I will say I agree with you. There is also another reason, and let me ask you this then. Okay, let me try to dig. There's an important point, everybody who's watching right now, that I'm going to show you here. Speaking with Omirzan. So Omirzan, the reason I'm asking you these questions is to have everybody kind of realize something very important here. So why do you think that that university has so many foreign students and foreign professors?
Because this university one of the most powerful university in Central Asia.
Okay, so I'm not okay. I think you've got a good start there, but then why? And this is speaking, by the way, everybody. So this is kind of
Oh,
like the speaking section. So, so I get it. So okay, you've got a lot of professors, students from other countries, and it's because it's one of the best schools in the region. So why isn't it all just people from Kazakhstan?
can you repeat?
Yeah, why have so why would this university, as one of the best universities, have people from so many different countries and cultures?
Um, because the quality of education in this university in comparison to other Kazakh universities is very high. Uh,
Okay, it's fair. What I'm trying to push you towards, and this is what I want everybody to recognize, looking into the future of human civilization and our planet, is that we now also have a global community. So we're not just countries, but we are starting to slowly but surely become a united human race across the planet. And because of that, a lot of universities, not just this university, Omirzan, but a lot of universities, I heard from a student in Buenos Aires that their university also requires IELTS. I heard from another student in Brazil that their university also requires IELTS. A lot of the big universities and the better schools, it doesn't matter if they're in English countries or not in English countries, they need their students to have strong English because English is the global language. And
yeah,
if you are an engineer, if you are a doctor, there's a very, very good chance that you will be using English as a regular part of your life, even if you're not in an English-speaking country, to communicate with your colleagues, to communicate with other experts in other parts of the world, to research information on the internet, which is 95% in English. So English isn't really optional, you know, and some people still think it is. Some people still think, oh, okay, I'm going to do IELTS and then get this score and then life's happy-go-lucky. If I need English, fine. If not, no big deal, right? But it's not that way anymore. It's kind of like English is a part of everybody's life, right? So that's why these universities, especially the strong universities, require it. And the reason you have so many students from different cultures and professors is because you have brilliant minds and brains all over the world now that can move around and join each other in different locations, not just in London or New York or these big English-speaking cities and cultures and countries. Okay. Omirzan, so all I'm doing here, and you're probably like, why is Adrian just like blah, 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 blah. So all I'm doing here is I'm emphasizing the importance of English, and I'm really convincing all of the viewers that no matter which direction you're going, it's very, very likely that English will be a part of your life, and we need these standard scores. It's kind of like IELTS is like the high school test of English for everybody in the world, okay? A lot of people don't know this, but native English speakers also take IELTS exams. Did you know that, Omirzan, that native English speakers take IELTS exams?
Yeah.
Because if you don't have, if you're a native English speaking person and you don't have high school English, you can actually take the IELTS exam for your English prerequisite. So for university as well. I actually played tennis with a guy just a few months ago from Australia, and he came to Canada for his studies, and he had to take IELTS to do. And he's an Australian guy, born and raised in Australia. And he was like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I was like, "I work with IELTS." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, I just did that exam when I came to Canada." And he's Australian, so. And I asked him what he got in speaking. Can you guess what he got in speaking?
What I got?
No, what this Australian guy got in speaking that I was talking to the other day. What do you
Okay.
think he got? Native speaker Australian.
He got 8 or 8.5.
7.5. That's what
What?
he got. Yeah. So native speaker score, kind of, if you're thinking about it that way, it's kind of starts around 7 and then 7.5. So just because somebody's a native speaker doesn't mean that they get 8 or 9. 8 or 9 means that you're a good communicator, and that takes more than just speaking natural English. So, having said that, Omirzan, it's also important to know that a lot of people can get those high scores. You just have to use the right information, and I know you practice that in Lighthall. So let's get into some speaking questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. May I see your identification?
Yes, please take a look. There is my identification.
And what is your full name?
My first name is Omirjan. My second name is Bekpolatov.
What should I call you?
You can call me Omirjan.
Okay, Omirjan. The speaking has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. For part 1, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Where do you live?
I'm from Nur-Sultan. This is the capital city of Kazakhstan.
Do you work or study?
Currently, I study at school, but I'm graduating this year.
Let's talk about sleep. How many hours do you sleep?
I usually sleep 7 to 8 hours every day. However, at the weekends, I sleep more because at the weekends I have more free time.
Okay. Pretty good. So far, so good. All right. So far, you have about a band 7. 7, maybe 7.5 so far. And the reason for that is because you have good fluency, you have good pronunciation. Those band scores are even an 8. The coherence score is still closer to like a 6, 7. For this last question, it was good. It was a bit higher. But for the first couple questions, you lacked a bit of detail. You lacked a bit of detail. Okay. So let me tell you. Okay. So again, remember, I'm your examiner. I'm a stranger, right? I don't know you. Okay. And I'll tell you what questions were left in my head when you answered these introductory questions. This is kind of what you have to think about, Omirjan, is what question might the examiner feel like is still there? So When I asked you where do you live, you said you live in Nur Sultan, the capital city of Kazakhstan. And I was like, okay, so like Google Maps, right? I see the city and I see the country, but I don't see you and I don't see you living there because I don't see your specific residence. So do you live in an apartment in a very urban area? Do you live in like a townhouse, a house somewhere on the outskirts? So that extra little bit of detail will help you to push that score. So what's your residence, Omerjan?
I live in apartments with 2 bedrooms.
Right, so that little piece of detail, it's those little details. If you think about the IELTS reading score and listening score, you know that the difference between a band 7, 8, and 9 is very small. So a band 9 in reading or in listening is like 39 or 40, so it's just 2 marks, right? A band 8 in reading, I believe, starts at 32 or 34 correct answers. So the high marks in the IELTS, they're very narrow. They're very close to each other. Do you kind of understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
So in the speaking and in the writing, it's the same. So the difference between a band 8 and a band 9 is quite slight. It's quite, some people would say, really? That's all that I needed to say for a difference between a band 7 and 8 or a band 8 and 9 is just a little extra piece of detail. Now you have to be careful because you don't want to overspeak, right? So you don't want to be like, I live in an apartment building which is next to a grocery store, across the street from a football field, and behind me is so you don't want to do that, okay? Because that's too much information, but just enough detail so that the examiner isn't left with a question. I asked you, do you work or study? And then for that one you said, I'm finishing school right now and then I'm planning to continue my studies. So I kind of got what you're saying. I was like, okay, so you're a student, but I really don't have clarity on what kind of student. So I'm guessing that you're a high school student and you're planning to go to university. I have no idea what your major is. You want to give me that information, okay? So it's more accurate to say currently I'm finishing high school and right after I'm planning to continue university to pursue engineering. That's going to get you a much better score, okay? So let me ask you this question one more time, Omerzan. Do you work or study?
Currently, I study at school. However, let me repeat. Currently, I study at high school. However, I'm graduating this year and I want to apply to the Nazarbayev University computer science major.
Much better. Okay, much better. Now I feel like you respect the fact that you're talking to a stranger who doesn't know you, okay, who doesn't come from your neighborhood, right? So that was much more accurate. And I'm sure that our viewers or listeners, if if everybody's paying attention, you'll realize that, yeah, okay, that was a much clearer, much more, you're using a lot more vocabulary too, so I can give you more vocabulary marks there as well, okay? So you're definitely in a much better direction speaking like that, okay? So keep that in mind. You're talking to a stranger, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So Omirjan, thank you for the correction of pronouncing your name. Yeah, that's what you want to practice, okay? Details, specific, you're talking to a stranger, and then you will get a better score. And then just remember your explanation and example, right? So here, how many hours do you sleep? I usually sleep 7 to 8 hours a day. However, at the weekends, I sleep more because I have more free time. Yesterday, Saturday, I slept for 10 hours. There we go. I wish I could do that. I have 2 kids. Never happens. So yesterday, Saturday, I slept for 10 hours. All right. So don't forget those examples. Okay, Amirjan?
Okay.
All right. Keep it up. Keep it up. Better today than yesterday, though. Okay, I can feel there's more confidence in your voice, and
Thank
I
you.
feel that you have more clarity, more direction than yesterday. So you are on the right track. Okay, Omirjan, have an awesome rest of your day. Keep watching and repeat. Okay, so even when I'm speaking with other students and giving corrections and sentences, do repetition. This is for everybody. Okay, Omirjan?
Okay. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right, keep it up. We'll talk to you later.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye. All right, that was Omirjan. Thumbs up, everybody. I really encourage you to give thumbs up and good job comments to each other when you are volunteering. It helps to motivate people. We've got lots and lots of volunteers coming up. Let's take Akryl. I won't always take people from the top, but right now I'm taking Akryl. So Akryl, are you ready? I can see there are lots of people and we're going to move through them. We've got lots of time, everyone. We've got a good 50 minutes in the class, so I'm going to keep a nice steady pace today and reach out to as many of you as possible. Okay. All right. Akryl, can you hear me? I can hear that you picked up. All right, I cannot hear Akryl, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes students, if you're using like a VPN or if your internet connection isn't stable or for some other reason, you might not be able to talk to me. Make sure your microphone, your speaker are enabled. Make sure you don't have any kind of blockers on your browser or firewalls that could stop these kinds of apps from working. Akryl, check that out. Come back later. Sarah, let's see if you're ready. Are you ready? I believe Sarah is Sarah from France. Let's see if she is here with us today. I'm going to move nice and fast here, students, so pay attention because you could be next. Okay, so it really depends on who's there available. All right. And I'll give everybody a few seconds to answer because there is that delay. Hi, Sarah.
Hey,
How are
hello.
you? I can hear you. How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing great. How about you? How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. One little bit of news, I guess, that I haven't shared yet is it's my birthday today. So it's a good day. It's the day I
Oh,
was born.
happy birthday.
Thank you. All right, and this I can tell by your
You're
accent,
welcome.
Sarah, and your voice that this must be Sarah from France, from Marseille. Correct?
Yes, exactly.
All right, Sarah. So let's get into it.
Yes.
We'll jump right into some questions here. Let's talk about sleep. How many hours do you sleep?
Because as I mentioned before, in part one, I'm a student and a worker, so I don't have time to sleep much. I sleep around 6 hours daily and about 8 hours in the weekend. I can tell yesterday, because I had much work, I just slept for 4 hours.
Do you get good sleep most nights?
I don't get good sleep most of nights, because I actually work at nights as a part-time job. So it takes my time for sleep. I can tell all the days during the week I keep working at night. That make me don't have a good sleep during nights.
Okay. All right. Let's backtrack a bit. So that was about a 6.5 on that last answer. A little bit better on the first answer, closer to a 7.5. So I said, how many hours do you sleep? And Sarah, you said, as I mentioned before in part one, this is still part one. So be really careful with the accuracy of the information you're giving me, okay? So as I mentioned during the introduction, would be more accurate.
Yes.
Okay. As I mentioned during the introduction, I am a student and worker, so I don't have much time to sleep. And then you gave me some numbers. You said 6 hours during work days and then maybe 8 hours when I'm off. And you said yesterday I slept only about 4 hours. So that was good. That was good information and a really good use of numbers for clarity there. Okay. And then for the next question, I asked you, do you get good sleep most nights? And you said, I don't get good sleep most nights because I work at nights as a part-time job. As a stranger, and so this is what I'm going to really focus on today here, Sarah. As a stranger, what kind of a question do you think will pop into my head as soon as you tell me that piece of information?
Like, what is my job at night?
Exactly, right? That's how you know you're missing that
But
answer. So if you're practicing speaking with a partner, this is really good practice
yeah, but
between.
there's something I kept in my mind, like in the like when you said do you work or study. So I just imagined like I answered that already. So you actually have an idea about my job. So I
Oh,
don't have like to talk much and to repeat myself again.
I get it. All right, fair enough. I get it. For this kind of practice, don't do that. So don't pretend like you've spoken to me if you haven't spoken to me yet. Okay. So for
Yeah,
going forward, just say it as clear as possible. Okay. So I
yeah,
get what you're saying, but try not to do that. All right. So have clarity. Pretend like it's the first time. So I don't get good sleep most of the nights because I work night shifts. And you can still, clarify further. So here, what is your night shift? What do you do at nighttime?
I work as a waitress.
Okay. So I don't get good sleep most of the nights because I work at nights part time as a waitress. So when do you work? What's your shift?
Like the time,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like from 6 to 11.
So it's 6 in the evening to 11 at night, which means I get home and hit the hay around 1 a.m. Then I'm up at 6 in the morning to get to my classes for 8:30. Okay, so really what I'm doing here, Sarah, is I'm driving this point home of not knowing that person. Okay, so extreme clarity, right?
Yeah,
With really good English. Okay, so let me repeat this question, give this answer, and then you'll see that difference to that band 9 with good grammar. Okay, so watch your grammar too, because your grammar got a little bit confusing at the second half of this question. Okay, so here we go. Do you get good sleep most nights? I don't get sound sleep most nights because I work nights part-time as a waitress from 6 in the evening till 11 at night, which means I get home and hit the hay around 1 a.m. Then I'm up at 6 in the morning to get to my classes for 8:30. Do you get good sleep most nights?
I don't get sound sleep most of nights because I work at nights part time as a waitress from 6 in the evening to 11 night at night, which means I get home and hit the hay around 1 a.m. Then I'm up at 6 in the morning to get to my classes for 8:30.
Very good. Yeah, and of course, you realize I made that quite a bit more complicated. Hit the hay is an expression that means you basically fall into bed. You're very tired. So we have lots of expressions for when we go to bed, the way that we feel. So if we feel really tired, we fall into bed or we hit the hay at that time. Okay, so those kinds of expressions will help you anytime you learn new expressions like that. Make sure to use them as soon as you can. Okay, and this is obviously for everyone who's listening. Good sleep, the really nice collocation for good sleep is sound sleep, sound sleep. If somebody is in very deep sleep, Sarah, we say they are sound asleep. So when somebody is
Yeah,
sleeping like a baby, they are sound asleep. Okay. So band 8, band 9, it's that kind of vocabulary that they're looking for. Not all the time, but at least some of the time. Okay, now let's just one last point here, Sarah, because I really want you to keep this in mind. Like, even if you told me that you're working as a waitress at the beginning, then here I would probably say I don't get sound sleep most nights because I'm at the restaurant working part-time. So I would still reflect on my position as a waitress to clarify that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so that's what you want to focus on. Keep practicing, Sarah. That's what you're doing. You keep coming back to these classes, and that's really, really smart. Okay, so keep doing that, all right? When is your exam?
Actually, my exam was like after around 14 days, but I'm not sure like I can do it. So I guess I'm gonna like do it later. I'm gonna need some time.
So you mean it will be in 14 days, right? In 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it sounded like you're speaking in the past tense. So be really careful with your grammar, okay? All right, good job, Sarah. Keep that up, okay? Keep focusing, pay
Thank you.
attention to grammar. Bye, Sarah.
Goodbye.
All right, let's give Sarah a thumbs up. That was really good. So Sarah, good job, okay? I'm really pushing everybody here. Thank you, Umreed, for that birthday wish. That's great. All right. Okay, everybody, let's take somebody else. Let me take a couple people from the bottom of the list, okay? So let's see if Chayani is available. Okay, Chayani, are you ready? Let's see. So I don't always take people from the top. And Anmal Amrit, I see you up there as well. I'm going to try to jump around a little bit here. Oh, let's send that to Chayani. I didn't send it. Okay. Filmy, yeah, 9 bands is possible even for a non-native speaker. In fact, oftentimes it's non-native speakers who get band 9s and not necessarily native speakers. The reason is that native speakers think that they will get a band 9 just because they're native speakers, but that's not the way that it works. Okay, so Chayani, if you're there, let me know. All right, if not, we'll keep moving on here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's try somebody else. Let's try Hesty. Hesty, you can certainly try. Are you ready? Okay, moving along here. And again, make sure everybody to speak and repeat and try the answers on your own as well. Okay, Hesty. Pretty cool name, Hesty. Hi, Hesty.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thanks.
All right, Hesty, may I ask, where are you calling from?
Actually, I come from Indonesia.
Indonesia. And why are you taking the IELTS exam?
Because I want preparing for my next IELTS exams for my higher study and for a master degree.
For a master's degree, okay. And
Yes.
What are you specifically targeting in your master's?
I'm going to take a Master of City Planning because I graduated from Urban and Regional Planning in here.
Okay, that's really cool. City planning. All right, the world can
Yes.
definitely use more experts like you. There are some cities that have horrible planning, so
Yeah.
hopefully you can help us out. Okay, and
Okay.
where do you plan to do your master's?
Actually, I'm still not sure about that, but right now I'm still looking for not some universities in Australia, but maybe I gonna take in UNSW. I don't know how to pronounce it, like one of the university in Australia.
Okay, cool. All right, sounds good. Well, let me help you on your journey. Let's get into some part 1 questions. Let's talk about sleep. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, how many hours do you sleep?
Well, actually, nowadays I'm working from home, so I have quite a flexible time for my sleep. Usually, at night, I always sleep from 10 a.m. until 5 a.m. So it means that around 7 hours or even more on weekday. I mean weekend.
Do you get good sleep most nights?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Yes. Do you get good sleep most nights?
Yeah, absolutely. I could say that. I mean, my sleep is quite good because when I wake up, I can feel that my body quite fresh, or even I feel more productive in the morning. Uh, yeah.
What position do you like to sleep in most often?
Mm, I could say that I'm not sure actually because I didn't know. I mean, when I sleep, what kind of position that I usually do. But when I start my sleep, usually I just sleep. I mean, like I see under my right side because I think it is quite comfortable for me as my lung or my body quite feel good with my throat also. I mean, our respiration system is quite good when we sleep and see in the right side.
Okay. I will stop there. Okay, that's about a band 6.5, but I think you should get higher. You just have to reorganize your answers a little bit, and I think you will do better. And if you practice the right strategies, you have good fluency, you have good pronunciation. A couple of the words I did have a little bit of difficulty understanding exactly what you were saying. Let's take a look at these in a bit more detail, and then you'll do better. Okay, so first I asked you, how many hours do you sleep? And then you said, nowadays I'm working from home. Don't start your answers like that, okay? Because it sounds like you're giving me a different answer than what I'm asking you. The IELTS exam, the speaking exam, it's quite fast. It's only 12-15 minutes. So it's very, very focused. Okay, so to get good band scores and to make sure that the examiner doesn't interrupt you with the next question, you have to give a focused answer. And to do that, you really want to use the question and target the question right away. If you're telling me nowadays I'm working from home, it sounds like I just asked you, where are you doing your work? Okay. And I get what you're doing, like you're trying to lead into your answer, but in the IELTS, that's not good. You don't want to lead into your answer. You want to answer directly, and then you want to explain and come out of your answer, okay? Or, well, target your answer, I should say. So, how many hours do you sleep? You want to answer that very, very accurately. So, you want to say, I get an average of 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night. I'm fortunate because I work from home, so I can get to bed early. Last night, I hit the hay at 10 p.m. and got a solid night's rest. Okay, so very direct answer. Do you want to try this with me? So I'm going to repeat the question, the answer. Everybody should be trying this with me. And then Nesty, just copy after me when I ask you the question again. Okay, so just listen first. So how many hours do you sleep? I get an average of 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night. I'm fortunate because I work from home, so I can get to bed early. Last night I hit the hay at 10 p.m. and got a solid night's rest. How many hours do you sleep?
I get an average of 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night. I fortunate because I work from home so I can get to bed early. Last night I hit the hay at 10 p.m. and got a solid night's rest.
Rest. Yeah, so much better. It's much more direct. Do you feel what I mean about being much more direct with your answer?
Yes, because it directly to 8 to 9 hours.
Exactly. So in the IELTS exam, you don't want to start with an explanation necessarily, because yes, in natural everyday communication we do that sometimes, but that's usually in a situation where we have more time, there's no time pressure, we're not being tested. So sometimes we start with an example, sometimes we start with an explanation. But on the IELTS, that doesn't usually work so well, especially with some examiners, because they interrupt the student, they repeat the question thinking the student didn't understand the question. You have to remember, the IELTS examiner has no idea what your level is and what you can and cannot understand. Every student or every candidate for them is a new person, right? So you have to be very cautious of that. Okay, Hesty?
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay, don't go anywhere. I wanted to give one more piece of advice here, because the advice that I'm giving you, it's new advice, and the mistakes are common, Hesty, for lots of people. Okay. So here I asked you, what position do you like to sleep in most often? And it's kind of the same mistake, but in a different way. So here you said, I couldn't say that, I'm not sure actually. This right away is showing me uncertainty. It's showing me like you don't know what you're talking about, right? You're using English, but you don't know what you're talking about because you're not sure. On the IELTS, you want to be sure, Hesty. Even if you're not sure, you want to be sure. So you're being very honest with me about your sleep, but I don't need honesty. I just need you to be sure. So here, again, you want to say, I sleep on my right side. Side because this is comfortable for me. Okay? And then don't switch to generalize. So don't say people, or don't say we can sleep better. Some people hate sleeping on their side. So just speak about yourself for part one. Okay? So this way, I feel that I can breathe better during my sleep. Okay, it is better for my respiration. That was nice vocabulary. All right, so very direct. Don't be unsure. Okay. Let's try this one as well. I'm just going to give the answer and then just copy the answer. Are you good to go, Hesty?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I sleep on my right side because this is comfortable for me. This way I feel that I can breathe better during my sleep. It's good for my respiration. Go for it.
I sleep on my right side because it is comfortable for me. This way I feel that I can breathe better during my sleep. It is good for my respirations.
Respiration. We don't count it.
Yeah.
Respiration. Okay, good,
Yes.
Hesty. Good. So direct answers. So what I want you to do when you're practicing with other students, you can use this website, by the way, to study with other students.
Okay.
You can send them messages like, hey, do you want to study? And when you're studying, what I want you to focus on is just very confident, direct answers. Okay?
Oh, okay.
All right. And I'm sure that's going to help you with being a city planner, because you're going to have to say, we need a swimming pool over there. And then people will be like, but Hesty, there's no water over there. And you'll be like, I don't care. Give me a swimming pool right there. We'll worry about the water later. So you got to be confident when you're building those cities, okay? Let people worry about the rest later. All right, Hesty, good luck on your master's studies.
Thank you, sir.
Bye for now. All right, that was Hesty. Hopefully she helps build some nice cities for all of us people in different parts of the world. Give Hesty a thumbs up. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? Oh, wow. Martha has sent me 13 messages. All right, Martha, let's see how you're doing. Martha, are you ready? Okay, let's reach out to Martha. Yeah, Robia, using body language is fantastic. Emra, thank you for those thumbs up. Carolina, good support. Okay, here we go. Martha is ready. Hi, Martha.
Hello, Adrian.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Awesome. You sound a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
No worries. I'm just another person in another chair in another place in the world. It's not a big deal. So is everybody else. Just take a deep breath. Be yourself. It's all good. So, Martha, where are you from?
I'm from the northern part of Kazakhstan.
Northern part of Kazakhstan. All right. Well, Omirjan is much closer to you than I am, that's for sure. Martha, what are you doing with IELTS? So, what do you hope to achieve?
I want to study abroad, to be exactly in Sweden.
You want to study in Sweden, and I didn't catch the part that you said before. What did you want to study in Sweden?
Abroad. I meant
Abroad. Okay, to be specific, in Sweden. Okay, why Sweden?
I don't know, just really a big fan. I'm a big fan of Scandinavia and Nordic culture.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, me too. I've been watching a lot of Viking movies these days. I know that's ancient Nordic culture, but still. And I have a friend living in Sweden as well, a very good friend. So quite interesting. I just want to emphasize an earlier point from the class today that Omirzan is taking IELTS to study in Kazakhstan, in Nur-Sultan, which is a non-English speaking country, of course, as a primary language. And you are in Kazakhstan taking IELTS to study in Sweden. And Sweden, of course, the language is Swedish, but still they need IELTS for university. So yeah, IELTS is becoming kind of a standard part of many people's lives, no doubt. Okay, well, let me ask you a few questions and then give me some nice full sentence answers, explanations, examples. And have you been watching the whole class so far, or most of the class, Martha?
I've been watching most of the class.
Okay, good. So you know that you need to answer these questions directly, right?
Yeah, sure.
And to do that, use the question in your answer. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about sleep. What position do you like to sleep in most often?
So usually I prefer to sleep in my back, because it's really comfortable to me, and I don't feel like my face is swelling in the morning.
Have you had any interesting dreams recently? And if yes, what?
Yes, my last dream was about my studying in Scandinavia. That's all.
Why is it important to get good sleep?
So may you repeat?
Yes. Why is it important to get good sleep?
It's important for your it's important for your health to get a good sleep, because when you sleep almost 8 hours, you feel really comfortable during the day, and you can do a lot of things.
Okay, good. So that's about a 5.5 for those answers. Now I get that you're nervous, and I think that your English level is probably higher than a 5.5. So first of all, you need to shake those nerves, okay? Get rid of being nervous, and you're on the right track. One way to do that is to practice speaking, like coming into this class and volunteering, okay? All right, let me give you some quick tips on how you can actually improve quite fast, okay? So I asked you, what position do you like to sleep in most often? You said, so usually I prefer to sleep in my back. It's not in my back, it's on my back, okay? You sleep on, because it's like you're on top of your back. You're not inside, you're on. So I like to sleep on my back because it's really comfortable for me, not to me, okay?
Okay.
All right, so watch your prepositions. Preposition mistakes aren't the end of the world. So if you make mistakes with to, in, at, on, for, it's not the end of the world, but you do want to minimize them as much as possible. So get feedback and minimize them as much as possible. Now, for these questions, you were missing two really important elements to help your score improve and help your speaking improve. Do you know what you were missing in these answers?
No, tell me.
Fair enough. That's a good answer. Sometimes people are scared to say no, but that was really good. You're like, no, tell me. Okay, the example. So the example, all right? So usually I prefer to sleep on my back because it's really comfortable for me. I get good rest. Last night, I slept like a baby on my back all night. Okay, so just that nice quick little example helps your fluency, it helps you to stay focused. So just repeat this after me, Martha, okay? So usually I prefer to sleep on my back because it's really comfortable for me. I get good rest. Last night I slept like a baby on my back all night.
Oh, okay.
Just repeat, copy. You can read it if you'd like.
No, I can't, actually.
You can't see it.
No, I can't.
All right, because you can't. Are you using a phone right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it slower. Focus on what I'm saying, okay? Here we go. So usually I prefer to sleep on my back because it's really comfortable for me and I get good rest. Last night, I slept like a baby on my back all night. Try it.
So usually I prefer to sleep on my back because it's really comfortable for me and I get good rest. Last night I slept like a baby on my back all night.
Perfect. Okay, that was much better. And by the way, notice how you slowed down a little bit there. That speed is okay. That's still considered a band 9 fluency. You don't need to speak super fast to be considered band 8, band 9. Okay, a lot of people think you have to speak super fast, but you don't. All right. Now, I asked you another question. I said, have you had any interesting dreams recently? If yes, what? And here you said, yes, my last dream was about my study in Scandinavia. That's all. All right. Okay. Good start. Bad finish. So let's try to correct that. First of all, what's the grammar of my question, Martha? Have you had any interesting dreams recently? What grammar am I using?
Present perfect.
Right. What grammar is your answer using? Yes, my last dream was about my study in Scandinavia.
That's simple.
Past simple. Exactly. In everyday conversation, that's okay. Nobody's going to punish you for it. But in the IELTS, they will. Because in the IELTS, they're looking for grammatical range in that 12 to 15 minute time. So you have to show them that grammatical range. And the reason they're using different kinds of grammar in the questions is because they're basically cueing you to use that grammar. So they're like, okay, I'm using present perfect. You should use present perfect. So the simplest way to show the present perfect in your answer is just to say, yes, I have. Even just those 3 words immediately shows the examiner that you recognized it's present perfect. Yes, I have. And then if you want to emphasize it, because this is definitely the type of question where I might emphasize, I have had an amazing dream just last month. And then you can say, my last dream was about my study in Scandinavia. And then you can give a little bit of an explanation. It is my dream, or it is my hope. I don't want to say dream because the question is about that. So it is my hope to go there and study next year. So it was really a good feeling to have this dream. Okay, so now I've really clearly answered and explained this question. Okay, so let me repeat this again and then copy after me. Are you ready?
Wait, sir, I have a question.
Go for it.
I thought that when we're using the present perfect, we don't need to mention the time, like last month.
You don't need to, but often we do because we give a frame of reference. So you don't need to do it, but we often do it. I have been learning English for the past 8 years. So we do it, especially in speaking, because it gives more clarity to our communication. It's kind of a weird one, like there's weird exceptions to the rules of grammar and the way that we use grammar. When you are surrounded by English speakers, you will definitely notice that oftentimes with the present perfect, we still put in the time. And even, it's a good question, Martha. In some cases, we even give it incorrectly because there's kind of strange rules with the present perfect. Like you can use the present perfect and if you give time, the time should be at least more than a week. So we usually don't say like, I have had this dream last week. They say, you know, it should be at least like a month or something like that. You should never say yesterday I have done this, okay? But in speaking especially, we do it anyways. So you will often hear people use the present perfect with even a very short time frame, like 1 day, especially in speaking. And technically that's not correct, but it's still considered natural. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, so you will hear that, and the IELTS examiner will not consider that a mistake. So if you say, I have seen this movie 3 days ago, technically it's wrong, but culturally it's correct. So it's a tricky one. Okay, here we go. So are you ready for the repetition?
Sure.
Here we go. So have you had any interesting dreams recently? Yes, I have. I have had an amazing dream just last month. My dream was about my studies in Scandinavia. It's my hope to go there next year, so it was really good feeling to have this dream. Have you had an interesting dream recently?
Yes, I have. I have had an amazing dream just last month. My last dream was about my study in Scandinavia. It is my hope to go there and study next year. So it was really a good feeling to have this dream.
Much better. Okay. Now, you were the second person today who said that's all to finish the sentence. You should never say that in the IELTS. Okay. So you should really try to avoid saying that's all or I'm finished or I have nothing else to say. Instead, think about the explanation and the example. So when your brain is about to go, I'm panicking, I'm freaking out, I don't know what to say, then your brain should be like, nope, wait a second. Did I explain this? Did I give an example? Did I tell them why this dream was good? Nope, I haven't, so now I will. Okay, I really like this dream because next year I hope to be there at this university, and so it was a really good feeling. I feel like I will be successful. So you switch into that explanation mode, and then you won't get stuck saying that's all, okay?
Okay.
All right, now in the next question you said, sorry, may you repeat? That should be sorry, can you repeat that please? That's okay to say that. So if you don't catch a question because you're nervous, you can say, sorry, can you repeat that? I think somebody else did that earlier as well. It's totally okay to do that, all right?
But I thought that may is more like polite way.
Yes, but we don't use it in certain contexts. May I have a cup of tea is polite, but we don't say may you repeat. It's not common English and we don't use it. It sounds awkward. So this is kind of the trickier part of spoken language, Martha, is written language and oral language are different. And if you speak like you write, it will sometimes be awkward. And if you follow the exact rules of writing and speaking, it will be sometimes awkward. That will come from experience. So when you speak with other English speakers regularly, you will start to pick up on these differences between spoken and written English. To be fair, because I'm sure some people are like, oh, that's crazy, that's so hard. Think about any other language. So if you think about Russian or if you think about some Slavic languages, it's the same. You don't speak it exactly the same as you write it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so just keep practicing and you will pick up on it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, Martha, keep up your studies and I'm sure you will get there. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Bye, Martha.
Bye.
All right, that was Martha, a second volunteer from Kazakhstan. That was really good. Ladies and gentlemen, I am slowly but surely running out of time, and that's too bad because I see that we have so many more volunteers. So I encourage you to practice with each other. Look at all these beautiful people who want to speak right there. You're all beautiful people. I'm going to give a big happy face there. Practice with each other, so don't give up. Just because you don't have a chance to speak with me today doesn't mean you won't. I will be doing more classes this week, and we do lots of speaking now on Light Hall as well. And until you get the chance, practice these strategies, practice with each other. All you have to do is just the same that you did with me. Send each other a message. Would you like to practice? This website is always going. This interface is always available. And you have some questions right here. Can you see that? Maybe you can. So IELTS speaking scripts just up at the top there. You have questions. You can click on those. There's 15 different full IELTS speaking question sets, okay? The next session, everybody, will be tomorrow. We've got more classes coming up tomorrow. And tomorrow, let's see what's going on. Tomorrow, we will be focusing on task 2 writing for members, and then reading for our subscribers. So make sure to subscribe to our channel at least, even if you do not become a member. It's a good idea to become a member. And again, use the premium course on our website. That's kind of like the textbook for these live classes. So if you go to aehelp.com, register for our premium course, and you find all the materials that we're using in these live classes, like the reading passages, the listening audio. So it's going to help your learning. Spend a couple dollars, make your learning effective, okay? That's it for me for today. I will be back tomorrow again with task 2 and reading. So hopefully we'll see you then. And we've got more speaking coming up on Saturday. So speaking part 2 and part 3 on Saturday. Thank you to all of the volunteers in the class. You are brave, beautiful souls. Thank you to our moderator, Carolina. Thank you for the birthday wishes. And good luck to all of you writing IELTS exams in the coming days. My name is Adrian, and I am signing out from beautiful Victoria, Canada. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.